Hey everyone, so in this global race to adopt artificial intelligence, it's so easy to just focus on all the incredible potential, right? But what if I told you the biggest risks aren't some sci-fi fantasy? They're actually hidden in plain sight, right inside our own organizations. Today, we're going to uncover the internal blind spots that cause so many AI projects to fail. Let's dive in. I mean, think about it. From healthcare and hiring to finance and marketing, it really feels like every single organization on the planet is in this mad dash to get AI up and running. The excitement is totally understandable. And that promise of efficiency and innovation, well, it's driving this massive wave of adoption. But moving this fast means we can miss some really crucial details. And this quote, this is the core idea for our whole explainer today. The most significant threat isn't some super intelligent AI taking over the world. Nope, it's us. It's humans deploying AI in the wrong way or for the wrong reasons. Maybe because we just don't fully grasp its limitations yet. So first, we've got to tackle what I call the AI illusion. See, the real danger isn't some bug buried in the code. It's in the flawed assumptions that we humans make about the technology itself. So let's start by debunking some of the most common ones. It all begins with these fundamental beliefs we have about what AI can and can't actually do. Okay, this slide just cuts right through all the hype. First up, this idea that AI is objective. It's just not true. It's trained on data from our world, and let's face it, our world has biases. If that data has historical skews, the AI doesn't just learn them, it can actually amplify them. And second, AI can't express true confidence. Yeah, it spits out answers that sound incredibly certain, but it can't give you a statistical margin of error. And this false confidence, it can lead people to trust what is essentially a wild guess, as if it were a proven fact. And that leads us right to the black box problem. With a lot of these advanced AI models, we can see the data that goes in, and we can see the decision that comes out. But the process in the middle, it's totally opaque, sometimes even to the people who created it. Now, if you're a leader, that is a huge risk. I mean, how can you take accountability for a decision when you literally can't explain the logic that got you there? So, you can see how those flawed assumptions about the tech directly lead to our next blind spot: flawed human processes. This is where poor organizational oversight can turn a really promising tool into a serious liability. It really all starts here. Now, I know this sounds obvious, but you would be shocked at how often this is overlooked. Just think of it like cooking. If you use rotten ingredients, you're gonna get a terrible meal. It doesn't matter how brilliant your chef is. In AI, data is the ingredient, and neglecting its quality is the single fastest way to get a really bad outcome. And this leaves out a totally predictable chain of failure. It kicks off with neglecting your data. That's step one. That, of course, leads to faulty outputs. But because we trust the tech so much, we go ahead and delegate critical decisions to it anyway, without a human in the loop. That's step two. And then finally, when the AI inevitably makes a mistake or causes some harm, there's no plan in place to handle it. See? It's a domino effect, all started by a lack of proper process. Now, here's another subtle but really critical process failure. Unlike a normal IT system that either works or is broken, an AI can, well, it can fail slowly. It's called model drift. It happens when the real world changes and the new data coming in just doesn't match the old data the AI was trained on, so its performance degrades quietly over time. And if you're not specifically watching for it, you might not even notice until some serious damage has been done. So this brings us to our final and maybe the most important blind spot: the strategic failure of just missing the bigger picture. This is what happens when an organization treats AI like it's purely a technical problem that they can just hand off to the IT department to solve. Because let's be totally clear, the consequences of getting AI wrong are not just technical. They are severe, and they are very, very real. We're talking about major legal liability when an AI causes harm, huge public backlash if it's seen as unfair, and the kind of reputational damage that can take years and years to repair, not to mention creating discriminatory outcomes. And this really highlights the crucial mistake, thinking of AI as just a tech problem. In reality, deploying AI has massive social, ethical, and legal dimensions. It absolutely demands input from your legal team, from ethicists, and from other experts working right alongside your tech people. So what's the fix? How do we move past these blind spots and actually start seeing AI clearly? Well, it takes a fundamental shift in strategy. getting away from a purely tech-first approach and moving towards a vigilant, human-led one. A smarter strategy really comes down to 4 things. It starts with prioritizing a human in the loop for any critical decisions. That has to be supported by a serious investment in managing your data. Then, to see the whole picture, you've got to build those cross-functional teams we just talked about. And finally, you have to plan for failure. You've got to be ready for everything, from major incidents to that sneaky, subtle degradation of model drift. At the end of the day, you have to remember this. The goal isn't to build a flawless algorithm. That doesn't exist. The real goal is to build a system of vigilant, informed, and accountable human leadership that can guide this incredibly powerful technology responsibly. So that leaves us with one final question to think about. As this AI revolution picks up speed, you really have to ask, is your organization navigating it with its eyes wide open, or is it at risk of falling victim to its own blind spots? Thanks for joining me to take a closer look.